Massachusetts Congressman Ed Markey wants answers from Apple CEO Steve Jobs. Yesterday, Markey sent a series of questions to Jobs about how and why iPhones and iPads are secretly logging information about the people who use them. The popular devices have been found to keep track of where users go, and that information is stored in unencrypted files that may be easy for other people to access. Apple has not said why it collects the data. For more, we are joined by Declan McCullagh. He is the chief political correspondent for CNET.com. Thanks for being with us, Declan.
Hi there. Anytime.
Well, let me ask you this first and foremost. Why do you think Apple was collecting this information?
You know, we've been trying to get Apple to answer some questions, and they haven't, so all we can do is speculate. If you just want to know where the phone is, then you need to keep the information for maybe a day. Maybe it would be useful to even keep it a week. But a year plus, there's no good explanation for it. Some possible explanations are, let's say they want to throw up some advertisements. Apple has been moving more towards online advertising in the last year, and so it'd be useful to say, this person spends a lot of time in this one particular city or one particular block in the city. If you look over an entire year's worth of location information, you can do this kind of data mining. So that would be a relatively benign explanation for this. Although it would still be very useful to know why they didn't actually tell us about this.
Yeah, so while we wait for the answer to the why, let's get to the what. What can I do if I have an iPhone or an iPad? Is there anything that I can do to stop this information from being collected?
Well, unfortunately, no. At least not if you want to use the iPad or iPhone the way most people normally use it. I mean, you could put it in airplane mode and then it won't know where it is, and so it can't log where it is. It can't store that in this file that's kept in perpetuity. And so except for that extreme measure, there's really nothing you can do. Apple does not offer a way to disable it. And now we're hearing some reports. I haven't been able to confirm this myself, but it looks like at least some Android phones offer a more limited version of this logging, and so it may not be just Apple.
So Declan, is this simply the price that you're going to have to pay for using devices like smartphones?
Right now for Apple users, and I've been an Apple user since the 1980s and an iPhone user since the day it came out, the answer is yes. And we'll find out in the next few days, and I assume, whether other smartphone makers are doing this as well. But the point is, this shouldn't be the case. It is very easy to put in an option saying turn off logging. It would take a programmer a day or two to test this, put it in, and then debug it. So why don't we have this option? I don't know. I mean, I think the fair conclusion is that you have technology companies that are focused on innovation, which is a wonderful thing, but they're not as focused on privacy. This isn't really building in privacy from the beginning. It's kind of adding it as an afterthought, or even hoping that your users don't find out about it. Police have known about this for a while. If they seize an iPhone during criminal investigations, or an iPad, the software has been out since last year to go through this. It's more like now the rest of us are finding out.
Well, in the meantime, while we wait for answers, Congressman Markey wants some, and he wants them quickly. In fact, he wants answers by May 12th. What do you expect that we are going to hear from Apple? I mean, will they respond by then, do you think?
They will. The interesting thing is that Markey, that is Congressman Ed Markey of Massachusetts, a Democrat, had an earlier round of questions with Apple late last year. And so Apple did respond to his questions. I recall that they responded on time, but the answers really weren't all that explicit. I mean, it was more like, here's our privacy policy, we can do this. So, I mean, I think a congressional hearing is going to be more interesting if that happens. The thing is that Markey is also the kind of politician who really just seems to be anti-technology in a way. So I'm not sure what his real motive is here. It is in demanding answers and probably trying to convince his Republican brethren to call for a hearing. But I think some more information and some more options for consumers would be very useful in this.
Yeah, this may just be the beginning. All right, CNET.com's Declan McCullagh, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Anytime.